Hi everybody. I hope this is going to focus. When it sees the bars on the cage, it doesn't. I'm having a not so great chicken day today, guys. I may lose my Bash. I may lose my Sebastian. Yesterday, the girls were free ranging, and I went to look for him, and Bash was down by the blueberries right in front of the main house, and he was down the hill, and I called him. He came up the hill really slowly and panting, and I thought maybe the girls were right behind him, and I looked over, and they were nowhere to be found. I said, well, honey, where are your girls? Well, his girls were not there. And I had to go find the girls, and I said, are you okay? Because he just looked kind of dazed and like he was lethargic and didn't feel well. Well, I went and rounded up the girls, and they, put them back in. I thought maybe the heat was getting to him a little bit. It was not really overly hot. So, fast forward to this morning. We come in here, and I go to clean off those roost shelves, and they're wide because, I like them to have balance and all, and I go to clean it off. And where Bash was sleeping last night, there's a great big puddle of watery urates and a lot of green. Very typical of what I see with my dying hens. And it's alarming because I know that's where he slept last night. Well, I let them out to go eat some eggs and yogurt and vitamin concoction because there's two broodies in here, and I like them to have soft food for their sensitive crops. And when they're broody, they tend to eat only the grains and not an unbalanced diet, and their crops mess up. So I give them scrambled eggs, and I've got overage of eggs right now. So I gave them scrambled eggs and yogurt, probiotics and oils and stuff. Well, they went out there and they ate, and I let them out and they went to free range. Well, I looked up and I started calling back because my husband was going to mow the grass, and they get scared of the mower. And I said to my husband, I said, well, where's Bash? He goes, well, I just saw him walking in the back roll-up door really slowly. And I went in there, and Bash went back in the pen, into this pen. And I went to look for the girls, and they were scattered all over, and I had to call them home because they got scared of the mower sound. And I said, hey, buddy, and I went and gave him a little pile of his favorite 13 grain scratch. It's a gamecock conditioner is really what it is. It's got about 16% protein on its own. Got peas and all kinds of good stuff in it. And then I went to get the girls, after I gave him that. But I came back, and he hadn't touched it. He was getting into a nest box. And he got on the edge of where Brandy was with her broody mess. And I said, well, let's don't crowd Brandy. And I put him in the back one to stand up. I thought he was just seeing Brandy like he sometimes does. He sat down in the back nest box and never got back out. And I talked to my husband. He said, well, he said, maybe we should check him over, see if he got snake bit. And I said, well, I didn't see any swollen areas, but let's check him over. So my husband went and picked him up. He was like a limp dish rag. Picked him up. I checked him over. I see no swollen areas. I could find nothing. If there was a bite from any snake, there becomes some kind of swelling, and there's no swelling. And he just looked at me like he had all the life drained out of him. And my husband said, well, if he'd had a cardiovascular type event or something, he said, let's give him some aspirin. So I said, well, yeah, it couldn't hurt. So we gave him 3 baby aspirin because of his size. And I put him in another nest box. It was bigger, but he didn't like that one, so he jumped out. And this is where he is. He sat on the floor, and he's not gotten up since. This is not right. So I'm rather upset right now, actually, because if I'm going to lose a rooster, why can it not be, as much as I love all my roosters, why can it not be 5-year-old Atlas who's got bad hock joints from arthritis and carries a dwarf gene, and I can't breed him at all anyway? Why does it have to be my less than 3-year-old breeding Brahma rooster? This is turning out to be an interesting and very hellacious summer, I'm afraid, for my flocks. After losing both Gypsy and Moretta, who were both older, this is not something I expected right here. And I have no idea what's going on. I don't have any idea. There's nothing contagious in these flocks. He just acts like all of a sudden he's had a heart or liver his color's fine though, so I'm not suspecting heart really, but a liver malfunction, or there's definitely something internal going on that I cannot figure. So I'm sorry to bring you this not so happy news, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but I will update you later. Yes, Atlas. And Bash has not crowed this morning. That's another thing that's upsetting. He didn't crow this morning. So, I have Jill, Hector, Atlas. I had to separate Jill because Hector was trying to breed her, sitting on the floor broody, and was actually starting to scrape her up a little bit. So I put her in a separate pen, and I have some eggs from this pen. And I may actually, against everything, to keep my options open, I may give Jill a few eggs from this pen. And I don't know if he's actually been actively breeding these girls lately. So I'm not sure how the fertility is. Yeah, Atlas, you're overdoing it, please. Thank you. But we'll see. My battery's about to die on this machine here, so stay tuned for an update on my beautiful, sweet Sebastian. He's the sweetest rooster ever. He's just a big doll, easiest to handle, and he doesn't deserve to be like this right here. He would be 3 years old next month. So, stay tuned, everybody. Thank you.